Welcome to another episode of Game Time, presented this week by Jiffy Lube. I'm JP Murrieta, and this week we are at Rio Rancho High School, home of the Rams and their football team, and head coach Nate Pino. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
Week number 1 is in the rearview mirror. You picked up a big win against the Trisco Heritage. What did you learn about your team in week 1?
You know, we asked them to compete, and play with great energy, and that's what they did this week. And, we were excited about the effort that we gave, and it was a great start to the season.
Let's talk about some of the performances. Give me an analysis on your quarterback, Micah Takahashi. How did he perform for you?
Yeah, he did a great job. He did a good job throwing the ball and running it, put us in good positions to be successful.
A 52-12 win over a Trisco Heritage. Defensively, Quentin McKinley had a pair of interceptions as well. Were you more impressed by your offensive output or your defense?
I think the balance. I think both sides performed at a high level. Anytime we can create a couple turnovers. I think our special teams did a great job too. I mean, Jonah kicked a 42-yard field goal. We did a great job.
How do you size up your classification this year, Class 6A? Not to mention the district you're in with Cleveland and Volcano Vista.
I think it's a very top-heavy class. I mean, you look at Cleveland, you look at Centennial, Cruces, Volcano, ourselves. I think there's definitely some good football teams.
As a head coach, how do you balance between keeping tabs on the rest of your classification around the state and how they're doing and still focusing on what you have week in and week out, the task in front of you?
Yeah, mostly we focus on ourselves, and our process and how we can get better week to week, and the rest takes care of itself.
Well, week to week. The next one on your list is Clovis.
Yeah.
What do you know about the Wildcats? How do you match up with them?
Very improved. Looking at them from last year to this year, I mean, they beat Farmington this week. They put a lot of pressure on you special teams wise. They do a swinging gate. They're very aggressive on what they're trying to do. They want to run the football, and they've got an athlete at quarterback. They'll pose a challenge.
You mentioned the focus is on yourself. What is the focus this week at practice, week number 2?
It's details. For us, we had a lot of penalties, so we want to focus on the little things and be detail-oriented as we move in through the week. That's our theme of the week.
Still early in the season. What sort of goals did you put out there for this team and this program this year?
I think any year, it's to win a district championship and to win a state championship. I think we've got a great program. We've got great support. We've got kids that work really hard, and I think that's something we always aim to do.
And in order to do that, you as a team and a program have to do what?
Daily we got to get better. I think something that we try to emphasize too is to have a blue-collar attitude, to show up, work every day, and the rest, if we get better little by little, day by day, we'll be in a good position.
All right, well, you're in a good position right now. Good luck this week.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll be back with more Game Time after this. Are you living the life of an athlete? The New Mexico Activities Association brings you Life of an Athlete, a resource for students, educators, and parents to understand the challenges students face. Athletes, one night of drinking will negatively affect your athletic performance for 2 weeks, and athletes who drink or do drugs are twice as likely to get injured. Alcohol's effects can reduce a high school athlete's potential by as much as 20 to 30%. Are you living the life of an athlete? Log on to the website to find out today.
At Jiffy Lube, we car about cars. In fact, we're kind of obsessed. It's why we've been taking car business with quick quality service for over 40 years.
Are you saying car?
That's right, Claire. And with things like our Carful Vehicle Review, where our experts check, fill, inspect, and clean your vehicle, you'll know we'll car for your car like we car for our own. Some people think it's just an oil change. Who cars? We do. We car.
You mean care?
Exactly. Jiffy Lube. Car more.
Hi, I'm Quentin McKinley from Rio Rancho High School, and welcome back to Game Time.
Welcome back to Game Time, presented this week by Jiffy Lube. Week 1 of the high school football season is in the books. Here's a look at some of the highlights and top performances. Defending state champ Cleveland put up a big number in the opening week of high school football. The Storm went on the road and took down Centennial 55-42. Evan Nanez had a rushing TD, receiving TD, and kick return for a score. Quarterback Jordan Hatch threw 3 touchdowns and ran for another one. Cleveland is at Los Lunas this week. El Dorado receiver Jahari Moorhead racked up almost 300 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns in their win over Oregon Mountain, where they doubled up the Knights 56-28. El Dorado takes on Cibola this week. Artesia beat Carlsbad in another edition of the Eddy County War. It's one of the oldest rivalries in New Mexico. The Bulldogs doubled up the Cavemen 48-24. Bryce Parra rushed for 3 scores and threw a touchdown pass. Artesia will host Hobbs this week. Speaking of rivalries, Las Cruces took down rival Mayfield in a big way, 61-6. Gunnar Guardiola threw 3 touchdowns. Daniel Amaro scored 4 times. And the Bulldogs beat the Trojans for the 10th straight time. Las Cruces will host Volcano Vista this week. Speaking of the Hawks, Volcano Vista scored first and last on their way to a 21-20 victory over the La Cueva Bears. Spirit Penn Cook broke off a 61-yard touchdown run on their opening drive. Down south, defending state champ Roswell started the season with a 27-8 win over Los Lunas. Quarterback Luke Lynn had a pair of scores in the win. Roswell is at Alamogordo this week. Santa Fe's Adrian Gonzalez won his head coaching debut with a shutout against Capital, 32-0. The Demons are at Berlin this week. Down in Hobbs, running back Seamus Wright rushed for 248 yards and 3 touchdowns in a win over Lovington, 41-13. Albuquerque High's Andre Martin threw a 39-yard TD toss to Romeo Ellis with less than a minute to go as the Bulldogs beat Cibola 24-21. Albuquerque High takes on Valley this week. Sandia and Piedra Vista went to overtime. PV's Nick Halverson scored the game winner in OT as the Panthers get the win 26-20. They're at Bloomfield this week. In one of the bigger upsets of the week, Santa Rosa running back David Chavez scored with about 20 ticks on the clock to beat defending state champ Texaco 22-15. Valencia went on the road and beat Kirtland Central 48-6. Michael Storms III rushed for 240 yards and 4 touchdowns. Valencia is on the road for the second straight week, taking on Gadsden next. St. Pius started the season with the W against West Mesa 47-29. Running back Herschel Alloway went 70 yards on the first play of the game. The Sartans had 4 touchdowns of more than 50 yards. Quarterback Isaiah Carpenter threw for almost 400 yards and 5 scores on the game. St. Pius is at Grants in week 2. Also on Saturday, Legacy Academy kick returner Jay Lee returned 3 punts for touchdowns in a 47-8 win over Laguna Acoma. He also caught a touchdown. Legacy Academy will face Hope Christian this weekend. Albuquerque Academy quarterback William Braun threw 4 touchdowns in a 42-21 win over Moriarty. Gage Conway caught 3 of the scores. The Chargers take on Del Norte this weekend.
Hi, I'm Ethan Rowland from Rio Rancho High School. Check out the latest football polls.
Hi, I'm Noah Lovato from Rio Rancho High School, and we'll be back with more game time after this.
There are always a few things you need to take along in order to give your best. Things like heart, comfort, and care. And with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of New Mexico, you'll take heart, having a local partner as passionate in watching your community thrive as you are. You'll take comfort, assured the promise and peace of mind that comes with the Blue Cross card has been handed down through generations. But most of all, you'll take care, confident the support you trust will be forever in reach for all the journeys to come.
Welcome back to Game Time, presented this week by Jiffy Lube. The high school cross-country season is up and running. Here's a look at one of the bigger meets to help kick off the new campaign with a couple course records at Cleveland High School.
I got out quick, that was my plan. I hung around like the third, second place area, and then around a mile in, I just took my place and made my move to number 1. I tried to keep that throughout the entire race. That was my game plan going into it, and I think I held it pretty well. I felt like I was taking those corners really fast and effectively. I was like doing F1 style, going back and forth around the corners. It felt pretty good.
I feel like I'm always nervous for the first race. And then I'm like, oh, never mind, I know how to race, like this is fun. So it feels super fun again, super fun to be pushed. I was just out to have the best first race I could. We've got a lot of new girls running varsity today, so that was super exciting to get to be with them on their first varsity race. So it was great, but like I said, try not to go into the race with too much of a time goal.
The high school soccer season is underway, and down south at Centennial High School, the girls' soccer program is more concerned about the health of their coach than they are about wins and losses.
I was dealing with a bloody nose issue, went into the hospital, got checked, and they did some blood work. They found that I was in kidney failure. Obviously, it completely shocked me. And then from there, that's where the process started. I was diagnosed with myeloma blood cancer, multiple myeloma blood cancer, and affected my kidneys. Ended up being in kidney failure. I have since been in treatments. I've started my 7th treatment. I'm truly blessed that things are going very well thus far. It's been truly a process in so many different levels. The support that I've had from obviously my family, my friends, my community, the soccer community, and just the city itself has been so humbling in so many different ways, and I'm truly blessed to be able to have the support that I've had, and the prayers and the thoughts and the kindness, beyond humbling, beyond words. So I have treatments once a week. I go in and do chemotherapy. It's a 4 to 6 hour process depending on the day, and so far so good. I've been responding to the treatments very well. I haven't had very much ill effects in regards to it, which is great. Just taking it one day at a time, and trying to process everything as well. But I'm strong in my faith. I'm strong in my belief. I'm strong in who I am as an individual and as a person, and how I've always lived my life, and I've always looked forward, going forward. I do look back. We look back just to learn from our shortcomings, our mistakes, or whatever we might do in that regard. But for me, it's about moving forward and looking at what I need to do. So this year, I'm going to be very limited to what I'm going to be doing as far as coaching. I've been truly blessed, like I said, the support and the community that we've had. A very good friend of mine, a colleague, a proven winner, a great family man, somebody who is stepping in this year to help me out, and that's Daniel Loya, who's going to, Daniel Loya, come over here. This guy is, I can't say enough about him. Defending state champion on the boys' side, a true, all about the kids. He's going to step in this year and help us out with these young ladies. It was something that we needed to do, and looking at it and sitting down and reflecting as far as what these girls needed. Because at the end of the day, I care about what I do. I love this. I've been doing it for 35 years here in New Mexico, coaching high school soccer, and to me it's all about the kids, creating opportunities and chances and things like that, and teaching them the game, not just the game, but values of life. And for me this year, coming into this season, it was really important with everything that was going on, because not only did it affect me, but it affected the girls as well. It affected the program in so many ways. Like we were in such disarray. Uncertainties, what was going to happen, what we're going to do. So it was something that I thought about, and then when I approached Coach Loya, asked him to come out and do a session. I know he retired, but I think he missed it a little bit. Him and his family and his wife Jasmine and his kids, they gave him the blessing to come out and help this season, and I can't say enough about that. I mean, like I said, the support has been tremendous, but for this program, it's what we needed right now, but it also allows for me to do what I need to do in moving forward and take care of myself in that regards. I'm feeling good every day. Every day I feel better. Every day I feel stronger. Every day I just try and stay positive and just keep moving forward, and I know that there may be some setbacks, but it's also the mind and the mentality of what I need to do, and be able to try and stay as positive as I possibly can, more than anything else. And it's not easy. I mean, it's not easy, but we do what we got to do.
Coach has an entire state full of supporters pulling for him. That's going to do it for another episode of Game Time, presented this week by Jiffy Lube. Thanks for watching this week. Make sure you tune in next week because you never know where we're going to go, who we're going to talk to, and who's going to get the spotlight. But you do know the place to find the most high school highlights is right here. We'll see you next time on Game Time.